What is up, pickle traders? Lee Ryder here, and in this video we're going to do an analysis update, and we're going to go over all the indexes for the whole world as well as gold and total. We're going to be looking on the 1 hour charts, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now we're going to go ahead and do this to kind of look at the week ahead, what kind of trade opportunities could pop up, what we should be watching. So as we get into the charts, that's kind of what we have in mind. We're going to start here with the Dow Jones. If I look back here on my board, most of the world is up. We've had a couple HK50 in total for crypto is also down, but for the rest of the world, the 5-day has been mostly up, but a little flat. As we can see here though, by our Bollinger bands, that it's fairly tight ranged. We can start to see some heavy wicking, which usually tells us that we're probably in for some whipsaw price action as those Bollinger bands compress, not only on our larger time frame here. Remember, this is our fractal, and this is our time frame Bollinger band. These are both getting very close together, which leads us to high volatility. So we're kind of watching Dow and seeing how the rest of the world starts to break out and seeing if it follows. All of the world is just coming off this big, huge push up, and we're basically coming to a state where we need to kind of breathe for a second. So you'll notice some similarities across all these charts, and they look kind of similar. As we come off this big push up, we're now coming back down into what you'll see is this kind of tight range here for volatility. Now, as far as Gamma Prime and the algorithm is concerned, we can see here Gamma Prime has come off of its recent highs. I'm going to go ahead and clear that up. Waiting for it to go down a bit lower. So does that mean we come back all the way to this other side, or are we going to find support here like we have at this midpoint? Now, that would be my guess because that's how the rest of the world looks, so that would be my take, but we'll go ahead and investigate a bit further. Also, Prime cycle looks like it's heading back up, considering we know that it's been at a high cycle. We were expecting it to go lower, but if we're getting like this big kind of mean reversion to the upside, we know that halfway through that cycle we can get that bounce right there at about that 50 range, which is where we did back here. So that was no surprise. Okay, so moving on, we're going to look at the S&P 500, and the same thing. You can see we get this tight range of volatility. We're starting to get not as much wicking, but you can see we are at extremes. Now we know two things can happen here. Our assumption is that price will mean revert. That is our assumption. But if we see price hang above this level, we know this is a time where it can run. And how does that happen? Well, we get that envelope form that forms between our lower time frame, or our chart time frame Bollinger band, and our larger, which is our fractal Bollinger band. And this one will be above this one, and we'll get it, something like this. We'll have to watch and see if that forms, and I will update y'all. It looks like if we get another push up this week, that will be what would happen because the price action is already extended right now. We can look at the prime here, and we can see that the prime is also at an extreme. We are almost at an extreme on the SGA, and also we haven't touched a high point on the Gamma Prime since back here on the 20th or 22nd. So, we're a little overdue. We're a little overbought. So like I said, it looks like we've had signs of exhaustion now for some time, as you'll see in the last video. I thought that as well last week. So looks the same here, but this can continue. So we need to watch, and really going to be watching the SGA Prime here, and does it come out of this range? Because we know then it will want to go back to the other side. So here we go. We start to, once again, we're getting this compression. We had broken out here, and here's a perfect example of when the time frame Bollinger band extends outside of your fractal, and you get these nice moves with very little drawdown, and we really like those. So we are getting also tightening of the Bollinger band like we can see here, and what this means is decreased volatility, and anytime we get decreased volatility, it means the market is thinking, it's digesting information, and it's deciding which way it wants to go next. These are areas that we want to key into and be very diligent about watching which way it breaks, as well as correlated markets. Going back, the prime is also in a high state, and SGA, it is in the middle of a cycle, as we can see here. Gamma Prime once again hasn't gone back since the 18th. So once again, this market is also a bit overbought. And like I said, those telltale signs that we need to come back and test these levels we plow through are definitely evident in the Nikkei 225 here as well. Moving on to the HK50, this is the one that past 5 days has been down about 6%, so it has been hammered relative to the rest of the world. Now, does that mean a rebound? Quite possibly, because if you see how tight this coil is here, this means it is quite ready for some sort of movement. Now, if I were a betting man, and I am because that's the business we're in, I would say that I think it's going down. Why? Or it was likely, I think it's likely to go down. It could go down because we have the prime here that is overextended. We have the SGA here that's overextended. And I don't even have on this chart where the gamma prime has gone and reached an extreme here. So we really waiting for some extreme price action to the downside, would be a continuation of what we're already seeing. Or do we mean revert back with the rest of the world? We will see, and something to watch. Okay, on to the FTSE 100, and this is something we want to watch. Is this a leading indicator or lagging? Because there's some price action here that would show that we're already starting to break out again. Now, it could just be that it's really late to the party, but you can see once again, we're very tight, and we are now breaking out of this band. So this is where price could really start to escalate, or it's going to want to mean revert very quickly. We're halfway through the cycle. The prime is turning up again. Gamma prime is also coming up high. So this looks good for a long to continue. So is this a canary in the coal mine, as it were? Is this leading the world? And you'll notice the FTSE's been very strong the past couple of months. So this could be something to watch while we have lots of pressure. This could be the thing that tells us, hey, once we're done clearing out all this new information to the upside, we're likely moving. So we'll want to pay attention to that. Next is we're going to talk about Euro Stoxx 50, and same sort of thing, Euro. And everyone is down on the US right now, and there's no blaming them. Where's the growth going to come through? There's tons of debt, so everyone is loving Europe right now. It is no surprise to me that we will see that rally continue, and we can see it here in the charts very clearly. First the FTSE, now Euro Stoxx. Once again, Prime is at a good part in the cycle. SGA also has room to move to the upside. Gamma Prime has space to move. So this also looks good for a long. But this is where I'm saying that, this is potentially, it could definitely do that. So, yeah, we'll see. Is it also a canary in the coal mine? You don't know. But this is now the second market that we see that could show that similar correlation. Moving on, this is the CAC 40. This is France. And wow, once again, we're getting that breakout above that squeeze. And you can notice the squeeze here. Also, Prime in the upper cycle. SGA has room to move. Gamma Prime has room to move. You'll also notice, and I didn't notice on the other ones, but the histogram here, and if you take the training, you'll know, but the histogram, what did I do there? Sorry about that. Yeah, the histogram there is starting to grow up, which is a very good sign when we talk about right now price reversal. Normally, if that thing is growing, the price is moving up, and you get a very clear sign that you're reversing once you get a rollover of that histogram. So something else to watch, but following a similar pattern as the rest of the world, or not the rest of the world, the rest of the world that's moving, which is European stocks. Just kind of pushing higher. So definitely one to watch. Definitely one that I want to be trading in this next week. We have the DAX, which is Germany. Same thing here. We have this breakout after this post squeeze. We can see our cycle tools, all of our SGA tools are showing us that we have room to move higher. So once again, this is good for a long. And I guess it's no surprise that Germany is going to be, if not the leading indicator, a leading indicator for that whole region, just because of it is the stability, like it is the foundation. So once again, we're seeing that here in the charts. So it looks like it's going to be a good week for Europe. And hopefully we can continue on with what we're seeing back here with the rest of the world moving higher. Now, the US has not fared so well, but like I said, we expect that because, debt and growth. Come on, we got to figure that out. And going back to the charts, this is the big canary in the coal mine for me. This is gold. This is telling me that we have risk back on. This is telling me that they're not trusting what the Fed is saying. They think it's risk back on, it's money on, game on. We will see. Are they right? I don't know. Those gold bugs, they're usually okay, but that's something big to watch. Also, look at this. We have the prime breaking out lower, histogram way lower. Not really much from the gamma prime. It has room to mean revert, but what I would be looking for here, is do we come back up to this midpoint and then roll back over? This would be the point where I would be looking to possibly, enter a trade for myself, because that's where I know that we get confirmation that we are rolling over further, and then just get on the gravy train, baby, especially if it's risk on season. So that's that. Okay, moving on to crypto stuff. Crypto is, showing similar signs of the rest of the world. We're getting these compressed volatility bands, gamma prime low in the cycle, which means we could mean revert, but also SGA rolling over, prime high in the cycle. So we're a little bit of a mixed bag here. And as y'all know with crypto, it's been out of the news. It hasn't been so popular. So it's no surprise that we see in the charts what we're also witnessing and seeing with our eyes and with our ears out in the news and in our news feed. So this is no different. Kind of just waiting and seeing which way we break. I don't have much an opinion outside of that. Okay, ETH, you can see ETH, same thing. It looks like it's breaking down, but if you'll notice, I think we're actually just finding support at this midpoint. And guys and gals, I think that's going to be the game again, where we're going to get in this really tight range, and we're going to basically work through all this information and all this volatility that we've had most recently. And so it's probably going to go back to boring season for crypto and back to volatility in the TradFi world until we get some new narrative. But crypto's still going strong. I still see today I got an ad from Fidelity to join a crypto trading service they have for pre-beta. So yeah, I mean, it's still there, going strong, just slow season. Next and last but not least is Bitcoin, and same thing. We're getting this tightening of the Bollinger Band, and everything else is cycle high and looks like it wants to roll over lower. This would mirror what we're seeing in gold. And so we just want to be careful and see which way is crypto going to get correlated. Is going to get correlated with the broader overall market, or is going to get correlated with gold? So is gold going to dump, crypto dumps as the rest of the market takes off, as we envision a bunch of money printing coming into the market? So that's our update. In the future, we plan on probably adding some FX and some oil, but for now, that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some feedback, eat this like an elephant, take it one bit at a time. So I hope you have a great week. Happy trading, and we'll see you next time.